Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us, and us being sovereign ground, we're not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you going to draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Worldwide on any smart device, that's at David G. Evans 1. David G. Evans, the #1. You can get us on all of our platforms. I invite you to not only join us each week as we have these life-changing discussions, but also invite a few of your followers and friends, all of your followers and friends, to join in the On Point conversation. We're so glad that you could join us. We want to hear from you today. We'd love to talk to you about the relevant events that are happening in your life, those things locally, nationally, internationally, that we believe impact us all, even though we might be geographically disconnected. We're not culturally or socially disconnected from these particular events. But we always approach them from a biblical perspective, from a kingdom mindset, so that those who are believers can get the wisdom that they need based on the Word of God. But those who are not believers, and we have a lot of people that are not believers like we are, that follow us every week, we are like to give them that ancient wisdom, and they can share in the conversations, because the events, whether you're saved or unsaved, touch us all. It's just how we react to them that makes all the difference in the world. You can join us by calling us today, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 74 Evans. Give us a call. We love talking to you live on the On Point program. Of course, joining us today is Reverend Nicholas Smith.
My printer's not working, so
okay, we can wing it. We can wing it.
She can
text it to say it, whatever. It's cool.
Okay.
Enough going on. We can talk about a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
But I was thinking about we haven't started the Bible Mind Game trivia in a long time. Yeah, I think we'll bring that back, and we've got some Winner's Circle Bibles that we want to give as prizes for people that can answer difficult, not tricky, but difficult questions centered around the Word of God. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you today. So, guns.
Yes. Yeah.
I am. I'm glad that the governor in Tennessee decided to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saddened that he was not inspired to do something until it touched him personally.
Yeah, exactly.
That is.
What took so long?
That is a very telling reaction. That when it did not touch him, they say he was, in favor of generally of what everybody wanted, and they did nothing to hinder the possession of guns in their own state, in reaction to what was happening in other states. And it's woeful that we often don't react until it lands on our front porch.
Yeah, almost like it could never happen.
Yeah,
to me.
It's like it's out there. It'll never come here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has it happen in his own city, and one of his mentors.
Mm-hmm.
He says helped him be governor, helped him in his career, just helped him be a man, the whole 9 yards. Then all of a sudden it's time to do something.
Yeah. Now, I still don't understand how. What someone from the military said. I think I'll answer this way to go back.
Okay.
That when their gun training is over, they have to lock their guns up.
Absolutely.
Put them away.
Absolutely.
And if they didn't need them, they weren't allowed to mess with them.
Absolutely.
But why do we sell those same guns to civilians?
Right.
That are heavily restricted by the military? That's it.
Look, I heard a statistic this morning. They said a few years ago, these assault weapons were less than 2% of all the guns sold, and of course millions of guns are sold in the United States. They say that number now is up around 20-25% of all weapons sold, and we're talking about not a couple 100,000. We're talking about millions of these weapons on the street.
Yeah, especially after Obama was elected.
Yeah.
They went through that whole, they're going to take, I think they did it smart. He going to take your guns, and it led to this mass increase in people buying guns, ammo, and then it got Civil War people, you know.
Was the NRA behind that at all?
I believe so, yeah. Because even this week, after these shootings, the NRA had their convention. Yeah. And the guy was, these politicians that are trying to stop us, you know, we're going to find ways to make them not get elected. And, you know, they got the head, Pierre, of NRA. Yeah. Now, again, you have these, in 1 week, I think there was probably, as we know of, 3 or 4 mass shootings just this week.
Sure, yes.
These major tragedies, and that's how you choose to answer that question.
Who would be calling? Everybody knows we're on the radio, right? Who could be calling? Who could be calling? Somebody help me. Had to make sure it wasn't an emergency at all.
I understand. Yeah.
Because they'll call you when you're busy.
Yeah, you gotta check and see. Always have it by you.
They'll call you when you're busy. But I don't get it. We talked about last week about how America has lost its heart for one another. Yeah. It should be enough for me to see you going through a tragedy to cause me to have a reaction of more than just thoughts and prayers. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you have the authority to do something.
Exactly. We're reactionary.
Yeah.
Not offensive. I don't understand why we can't. Well, some people, well, you're living in fear. Well, there's kind of some things nowadays that kind of produce some level of angst.
I think caution. Yeah. Outright caution is not a bad reaction for the environment that we live in. Yeah. I mean, it's you cannot be reasonable and walk around as though there's no danger. Right. I mean, in the Bible, they were serving God, but when war came, they still suited up, just in case they had to fight. Yep. Now, so you can't walk around as though you're oblivious to the changes in the environment. But these same people who are saying that are not walking around with money hanging out of their pockets. Right. Yeah. You know, I don't think caution. I think caution is wisdom.
Absolutely. Because you want to buy a gun for caution, you keep it at your house for protection. You know, we're all for that. We're not against that at all. But to save but again, I'm answering my own question. We've always cared more about money and power rather than people.
Yeah. And it's disheartening.
Yeah. And then what we talked about last week, there's a certain amount of collateral damage that they're okay with.
Absolutely.
Until, then we'll make a decision after this many people are affected by it.
But it had to be personal.
Yeah, I know.
You know, had it been a bank where his friend didn't work,
he probably would have did
this. We don't know how he would have reacted.
That's true, yeah.
But this certainly was visceral for him.
Absolutely. Yep. I was watching this, somebody put this clip out, and they say, you want to know why millennials are so anxious? So they went through from 1990 all the way up to now, all the major events that happened from Columbine shooting, 9/11, and the person was basically saying, this is why we have such anxiety, because again, you're afraid to go to school because you get shot. Store, you get shot. 9/11 happens. And I mean, I used to never be cautious going to the store.
You are now. Yeah.
And we're not built to live under that pressure constantly of wondering you're going to live.
No.
Or,
We've gotten away from that survivor lifestyle, in a sense, in some places. Yeah. Now, in a lot of the inner cities.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Now, when I was growing up and we were in Philly and Chester, you walked around with knowing the possibility. You couldn't go to a party without knowing the possibilities that you might not come home. So you make that psychological adjustment. But once you get away from that, you lose that street sense. Yeah. All right. But now, what people are really getting, Bethany, is the anxiety that goes along with living in an area where violence is normal.
True. Yep.
So now people in the suburbs are starting to wonder, can I go to the store?
Yeah.
And will my kid come home? Or will I get home from work?
Yeah.
So it's a once again, it's a behavior and a mindset that we were comfortable observing happening in other people's neighborhoods.
Yep.
But now it's visiting our neighborhoods, whether you're urban or suburban, whether you're in private school or public school.
True. Well, the drug thing, as long as it was certain communities,
Yes, sir.
it was jail.
Yes, sir.
Now, it was always in the other communities. Now, they act like it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't so publicly marketed as so.
Right.
You got Ivy League kids getting in trouble.
And now this has become more public. Rehab. We need, places for them to
Places for them to go shoot and be safe.
Yes. Yeah.
Who would have ever thought of that? Places to go shoot drugs where they'll be safe. We'll give them the syringes. Who thought that was going to happen?
A nurse on board just in case somebody
Yes.
ODs.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it was only bad people do drugs versus the pressure of being wealthy has driven them to some kind of chemical relief.
Yeah.
It's bad people versus society.
Yep.
It used to be just bad people.
Yep.
But now that it's hit the main line, it's a social issue now.
Yeah.
It's cultural. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you worked in banking.
Absolutely.
When they, between Wolf of Wall Street and a couple other movies, and I was reading some about the investors up there. They said the amount of parties, the cocaine they do.
Amazing.
All the stuff they do.
It's amazing.
They are insane up there.
It's amazing.
But because it's them.
It's a Babylon environment produced by enormous amounts of income.
Yeah.
And enormous amounts of income make things available to you that's normally not available. And also, they're all partying together, so most of them keep it closed in.
Yep.
But they show up for work the next day.
Yeah. Because you can be a functioning addict.
whatever they're doing, But having been to a few of those soirees, if you are not really committed to not indulging in those things, and you succumb to the peer pressure because you're more acceptable if you do than if you don't, you can get lost in that very quickly. You have to have the strength to see it, analyze it, and say, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, that peer pressure, don't want the boss to disapprove, don't want anybody to think that I'm not a part of everything. It's a lot of pressure for a lot of people that do not have. And I think we see that now, especially among people of faith.
Yeah.
We're blending in, diluting our witness and our testimony. I think more than I've ever seen in the years that I've been saved, and I've been saved since 1976.
Yeah. Just to fit in. Becoming all things to all people doesn't mean doing everything everybody does.
Well,
it's just two different.
But I'm not so sure that what's always amazed me is how we're willing to compromise our walk to satisfy someone who's not willing to compromise theirs.
Yeah.
We're not asking them to do less of what they do unrighteously, but we're willing to do less righteousness to fit in with unrighteous people.
Yeah.
Because what is it about us that we want to feel so accepted by folk that don't know our God?
Yeah, that's true. And that pull, we talk about peer pressure among kids, but adults is just as bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's
horrible.
We've been in places, seen the person act a certain way, somebody else walk in, they just switch up so fast.
Man, so fast, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But it takes a bit of strength to be in that environment where choices are being demanded, and you don't do that. Because I believe, what's that in Revelation? That lukewarm church? I believe that church is growing exponentially because of Christian desire to fit in somebody else's idea of themselves other than God.
Yeah, they're trying to get what they want from God somewhere else. That's literally what they're doing. But as Christians, we're supposed to be distinct, which means we're supposed to be not uppity and all that, but different, a noticeable difference. Authentically.
Yes.
And noticeably different.
Yeah.
And okay with having a small us, not us against them exclusive, but a different crowd.
But isn't it weird how authenticity is being pursued by people, but they want to be authentically like someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, females want to be Kardashian, and young men want to be LeBron, and it's usually the human beings we're idolizing don't know God.
Right. Or don't even know you and
Yeah,
try to.
They and we want to be like somebody doesn't represent who God says we are. So we actually lose our authenticity, because being authentic today actually means looking and behaving like everybody else.
Yeah. It's the same,
That's a contradiction.
Same monster keeps coming up over and over again.
Yeah.
Just to be able to fit in and be, and that, especially with social media and everything being so interconnected now, that pull is harder.
Yeah.
Because you get sucked into trying to be in the next wave, the next thing, the next.
Am I experiencing something unusual? And I need you to help me with this. I have become less and less enthused with social media.
Oh yeah, I'm so. Yeah.
I mean, just, it's almost, I don't know how people see that as life.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as what it is, something you interact with, you know, a few times a day, maybe once a day, maybe once every 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But it, to me, and Antoine taught me this, and you've indicated, I think, too, with that social media environment, if it's not posted, it has not happened.
Yeah, it's insane to me. Yeah, if you didn't post it, you didn't do it. Why, first of all, why gotta prove to you that I did it? Like,
well, here's the deal, though. But that's why people are doing things that are criminal, and filming them and posting them.
Oh, these challenges these kids are doing, stealing cars and videotaping them just for, like, you want to be that social media fame that bad, but they get caught.
Well,
up
that
in
psychological thing you taught me about, that, you know, that focus group, they got it together, and how does this affirm people, and how, you know, what does it feed? It feeds the gambler in you. It feeds the daredevil in you. Yeah.
I mean, it's so. I took a break from my Lent thing with social media, so
Okay.
I was off for all of.
How'd you feel?
Oh my God, it was wonderful. So now, like, I just go on. Now I'm like, that doesn't sound.
To me, it's a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. I don't care. Like,
No.
some stuff is funny. I go on there just look because it's funny.
Yeah.
But out there, like,
It's not life to me.
did you see what this person said? No. Do you get?
No,
Not really.
I didn't. No, I
Not
didn't.
really. I don't.
I didn't.
I don't.
And I'm not going through the feed, me and things to try to find it either. I'm not looking through 100,000 posts.
No.
I'm not doing it.
No. And the way they're setting the algorithm up is they're studying what you like.
Yeah.
And they're putting everything on your feed, the stuff that you would agree with, you would like, or something controversial to get you to respond.
Okay.
And they set it up on purpose.
I'm the wrong guy for the controversy piece.
Yeah, they'll put
And
something out there.
But I just don't think we have to agree.
Yeah, we don't have to respond to everything.
No, we don't have to agree.
No, they do. I mean, you know, marketing. They put some controversy out there on purpose just to get engagement. Engagement leads to money. It's just.
And people get passionate about that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get it. We got Danny from Florida. We've got Tom from Florida. We've got Robin from Delaware. Our faithful three, the Three Musketeers, have checked in already. We'll go to Danny first. 866 now, 743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point. Let's go to Danny. Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Bishop, good morning. Pastor Nick, staff, how y'all doing today?
How you doing, man? What's
pretty good.
What's
Pretty good. I can't complain.
what's going on with you? You know what, Pastor Nick and Danny? I was talking to a guy. They had some bereavement in family. I was talking to him, and he lives in what they call the New Tampa.
Okay.
You know what that? You know what that is? Chapel, Florida, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, how do you feel about your governor? African American man. He says, well, you know, what you guys are getting on the news is not really what's happening down here, and this is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise kids. It's. I'm like, what do you mean it's? I'm like, so his idea to defend it is that what we are seeing is not what he's really doing, and what he's really doing is not as bad as what people are saying.
So what is he doing then that's different than what we're hearing?
Well, I just think it's a rationalization.
Okay, I'm like, if it comes out of his mouth, Or is
We're not holding them responsible for that.
Okay.
You know, that's
Okay.
that's that
All right.
that's that Trump thing.
Okay.
Alternate facts, and
Yeah.
that what that
Yeah.
press secretary said. Danny, we didn't mean to hijack your subject. Go
sorry.
ahead, man.
No. But a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about that I really should have mentioned it last week.
Okay.
Before we were talking about, but back what you were saying about DeSantis and what have you, it's amazing how he has. I was wondering where did these people for him and Trump, because when they do these photo ops, where do these people come from? When I say these people that are like us, you know,
They
you would have
recruit
to
them.
go ahead-
They
You
recruit
have
them.
to drag me up there, tie me up. A team of elephants couldn't take me up there to do that, but they would be right there with the sign.
Yeah.
You know, and then they could say some things that are totally embarrassing. Where there's my person over there, you know, and they put that label on you like that. One person.
Some people don't mind being used for photo opportunities, and the glory for them is actually being on camera and being seen with that person, even if that person is legislating against their own self-interest. It's because I've seen in my own situation, Danny, where I've seen guys compromise themselves to be around politicians.
Yep.
You know, just to get invited and say they were there, even though they're totally disrespected.
Something that you said to us that you taught us years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're just glad to be at the table.
Yep. That's all. That's it, man. Some people are just they're glad to be in the room, not even at the table. You know, they had that book out about the guy at the door.
Mm-hmm.
The spook at the door.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that some people literally, Danny, are just content to be in the room. They don't want to get to the table. They don't want a menu. They certainly don't want utensils. They're just simply good. They're glad I was in the room. And that's why they were able, in our discipline, to take a whole lot of pictures and do nothing. Because they learned a long time ago that a photo op is enough glory for a lot of us.
And one other thing I want to mention, I wanted to talk about last week, was the weather.
Okay.
And do you think, what is your expression, you and Pastor Nick, or your feelings, as far as the weather? Is God trying to talk to us and tell us something that we need to do?
What I've learned, you know, 4th grade social studies is quite informative. I did not know that watch out, I'm going in a circle, but it's going to make sense, Daddy. I did not know that there were rainforests in the United States. So in Washington State and in Oregon, there are rainforests. Of course, they're diminished now because of development and industrialization and stuff. But I did not know that the rainforests themselves are partly responsible for the climate that is experienced in that part of the country. Why?
Correct.
Because the rainforests help to keep the balance of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. But now that there's less and less rainforests, we've got more and more carbon in the system, and it's impacting the climate around the country. So as we cut down these rainforests all over the place,
Right.
we're impacting climate all over the place. You know, to be where we are, Dan, you know, it was almost 94 degrees yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 94 degrees yesterday. And
Wow.
it's supposed to be in the 80s today. Now we're going back down to the 40s next week, according to what they say. But the reality is, if you think of a New Jersey winter, we didn't have a New Jersey winter. I'm not complaining, but we may have had flurries,
I think one time was very light.
like a light coating, like maybe
It didn't do anything.
quarter of an inch.
Yeah, it was
It was on the grass, but wasn't on the street.
barely nothing.
You know, we never got down, and I'm not complaining. We never got down to the high single numbers. You know, it is not like it used to be, Dan.
Creation's groaning.
Yes, sir.
That's to me, that's what that really is.
Because
Yeah.
of our inadequate stewardship
Yep.
of what God put in our hands, which is called earth.
Yep.
Okay, now speaking on stewardship, you hit the nail on the head,
Okay.
Bishop. So that's what I was going to say, is that if you remember, think back some time when I was complaining about how they were developing South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the building collapsing and what have you, them doing things like that. Well, if you have to do things right to begin with, you go back to the Bible. You have to have the foundation and all of that in order to have a strong house and what have you. Now, they're so keen on development that they're not going and listening to what people are saying, because now we're finding out that the ocean is increasing 5 inches each year.
Did they say why? Oh,
because
the stuff's melting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Icebergs are melting.
Now, taking that into account, and I was thinking about some things, and when I was a kid growing up in Florida, if you built a home, they were on cement bricks. So, and I remember, and I was counting the steps that I had to take in order to get into the house. I had to go up 4 steps to get up.
Okay.
All right. Knowing that, they were smart enough to put them up on bricks. Now, they're at street level, and they've been doing that for the last 30, 40 years or so.
But I saw something on television yesterday that the big part of the problem with the flooding that has just been experienced in part of Florida is that the homes were street level. So when there was 24 inches of rain, 26 inches of rain, it had nowhere to go but into the properties.
Yeah.
But the spin that the news media put on it, and the way that they weasel out of certain things, is that they say this only happens every 1,000 years.
Wasn't there flooding in there like a couple years ago?
Well, they're saying like that. But that was 2 foot of water.
Yeah.
In a matter of how many hours, Dan?
24 hours.
Yeah.
That's an amazing amount of rain.
Because there was a hurricane, I think, last year in Miami or the year before, where there was a bunch of flooding.
Well, Pastor Nick, you got to understand there's 2 types of hurricanes. There's a dry and there's a wet.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
you get more wind than rain.
Okay.
And you get more rain than wind.
And they call the one with dominant wind dry.
Right.
Yeah. Dry every minute.
Now, when I was growing up, we had a lot of wet.
Dry.
Now you get a lot of wind.
Oh my.
Which is a dry type. So
a dry hurricane.
Well, so they never did.
Is that what happened in the upper room?
Because I think it evaporates some water.
Yeah. The infrastructure has never been set for the amount of people that we have now. So you got to go ahead and build according to that.
So the dry one evaporates water?
Yeah, first dry air causes evaporation of liquid water. Since evaporation is a cooling process, it reduces the warm core structure. Okay.
Oh my. Okay.
I never heard that. I never knew that.
I never knew. Thank you for educating us this morning, Danny.
Well, thank you, Bishop. As usual, you're right on point about the rainforest and all that. I didn't have to say anything.
You
led right into what I was talking about.
It's so plain in Genesis chapters 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
That God puts the stewardship of the garden in the hands of Adam and Eve.
Yep.
And they blow the stewardship, which means they blew the environment. He put us, he's not going to do this for us. It's like, I had this revelation yesterday. It might not be profound to you all, but it really hit me hard. I think when we think of compassion, we think the Lord is supposed to do it. I believe that compassion, act of compassion, God has put the responsibility in the hands of men and women.
Yes.
So when we read the Bible, it looks as though, if you look on the surface, it looks as though the Bible is saying that God's compassion will do it. Well, he's handed the activity of compassion over to human beings. So we can't wonder why God didn't, it's not enough to say my thoughts and prayers are with you, because that's not moving the hand of God. Right. We are the hand of God when it comes to compassion. So compassion, so God is still compassionate because he expects for his compassion to be transmitted through his people.
And the crazy thing, you only have to be saved to be compassionate.
No.
But Jesus told the
No.
the Samaritan thing.
Yeah, you ain't got to be saved.
The priest and Levite walked by.
Walked
The
by.
Samaritan come.
Went to the other side of the road.
Yeah.
The compassionate woman was just a regular human being walking.
Yeah. So you don't have to have salvation for that.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have salvation to have a house,
Yeah.
a car, a job. You don't have to be. You don't have to be saved for any of that.
I'm just saying.
Look,
I
you know I've been saying it for a long time now. You just a whole lot of stuff we say. You know, we put stuff in the blessing category when it's provision. It's
Yeah.
got to be provision because you don't have to be saved to get some
That's right.
stuff.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So true.
Daily.
Bishop, Pastor Nick, thank you all very much.
All right,
I
man.
really appreciate
Tell
everything.
my sister I said, hey, man.
We'll do.
Talk to you. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We're going to Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor
Hey
Nick?
man, how you doing?
What's going on, man? What's your comment today?
Hey, you know, with all that rain down here, 24 hours of craziness.
Now, were you anywhere near that, Tom?
You know what? Place I moved into on purpose is at a high elevation.
Okay.
So if I go one block over, I'd be up to my waist.
Really?
Where I'm at, I'm totally out of the water. I was thinking about hurricanes and everything else, but I have friends that say they have never, ever, guys have been down here 30, 40 years,
Okay.
said they've never seen it like this. But yeah, it was devastating. But the reason I'm commenting on it, our governor can come back and sign a abortion bill, but he doesn't come to Fort Lauderdale because it's Democratic.
Okay.
And say, hey, you people okay?
They said he didn't even call when it first happened.
So Fort Lauderdale is where this stuff happened?
Yes.
Okay. Why would it seem like there was another city they were focusing on in the
They
newscast?
were talking about what I saw was Broward County.
Okay.
That's
okay.
what they were calling.
Fort Lauderdale is the center of Broward County.
Okay.
It's the hub where the courthouse is. It's basically the capital of Broward County.
So a couple blocks away from where you live, people are under 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow, Tom.
No, it was crazy.
Now,
But like I said, government didn't show up.
I can't imagine how much water is coming down in those 24 hours to leave 2 foot of it on the ground.
Yeah.
That's
Where I'm located, if I wasn't at higher elevation, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten it too. But it was just 24 hours of non-stop deluge. I mean, just coming.
Wow.
Jeez.
Did things stop in the city altogether? When did the flooding start? After how many hours? Do you have an idea?
I want to say after about 8 hours. And then also the alerts start, phones start going off, flash flooding. And then, after about 12 hours, the news is on consistently saying, I'll give you, for instance, take in Jersey, Route 30, White Horse Pike,
Okay.
between Lindenwold and Clementon.
Okay.
Picture that under 24 inches of water. That would have been the equivalent. And all those houses around it being,
I saw all the houses that I saw were street level. So that
Yeah.
means all of them got flooded.
Exactly. And the double-edged sword with street level, compared to what Danny said, was they brought them down off those pylons so they wouldn't get blown away during a hurricane.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword with that building code.
So why don't they just... So...
It costs more to put a
Yeah.
deeper
Okay.
foundation in.
Okay.
At one time, they did build them on blocks, but if you put a correct foundation, which the more expensive, and folks that got money, not that I have money, I just got lucky, where I'm at is up on a foundation that's very solid.
So you literally were a few blocks away from the flood.
Literally a block and a half. I could
block
walk
and a
there
half.
in 5 minutes.
Wow. So were people come from the neighborhoods coming up to your area just to get out of the water?
Across the street, there's Winn-Dixie, and they made that a shelter,
Okay.
emergency
Okay.
shelter, so people could meet, because it was just insanity. Cars all over the place.
It would have to be
flooded.
devastating. Now, there were no gator issues down there, were there?
No, you know where? I'm looking to find one day, Bishop. where we're located, there are really so many people here. Gators stay away, so you really seldomly see one, and if you do, it makes the news.
Now, see, that's not the same thing as in Orlando, because you get them in Orlando.
Oh, no, you got different. All you got to do is get, I'm going to say 10 miles west of where I'm at, and it's night and day. It's so populated in Fort Lauderdale area.
Let's switch subjects real quick before you go, Tom. Tell me what the reaction on the ground is to the 6-week abortion ban that the governor supposedly signed yesterday.
He snuck in quietly and did it, and snuck out. Down here in South Florida, a lot of negative publicity behind it, but he's doing it because the surrounding state, it's for national, not for Florida. Because people in Alabama, Mississippi, those people were diving into Florida because Florida was the only close state where you could still get a legal abortion.
Oh.
And he wants to satisfy the neighboring states that we're with you.
So they'll still be able to come. They can only come before 6 weeks.
Yeah. And Bishop, can I leave you with this? The reason he is not running legally, but by bylaws in Florida, you cannot run for another office if you're governor without relinquishing the office. So if he announces he has to give up his governorship.
He's got to quit.
Yes. But don't worry about that. Legislature is trying to pass a bill that says you can run for another office while you're still governor.
Got it on lock. But you know what's crazy about that abortion bill? So now they're trying to put a bill in place for instead of the death penalty needing a unanimous vote, now all needs to be 8-4.
What?
Yeah.
In a jury setting?
In a jury setting, yeah. That now instead of unanimous jury vote, now just 8 people out of the 12, and they'll do the death penalty.
What's wrong with us?
That pro-birth, they are not pro-life.
Yeah. And something
What
else
is wrong with us?
just got passed.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop, if you have somebody who's undocumented in your car, you can be charged with a felony.
Yep.
What? It could be somebody from work, a friend, somebody you don't know really well. I mean, some guy from work, hey, he doesn't have a ride, I'm taking him home. I get pulled over.
You can't give your buddy a ride?
If they're undocumented, you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Take them to get some help somewhere, you work.
So what's that do? Force them to walk the streets and arrest them off the street? Is that what that's going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they go to the hospital, a hospital has to tell the government, hey, undocumented person's here.
So they can come and get them?
It doesn't clarify that.
That's the result. That's the result.
Yeah.
That's the natural flow of that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You take them to a church, to take the person to a church to get help, they catch you, you're now a criminal for helping an undocumented person. But again, pro-life though. Pro-life.
Thank you, Tom.
Just saying,
Hey, take care. God bless. Take care. Stay out of the water.
See you now.
All right.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. This morning we've got Scott on line 1. We're going to Robin from Bear, Delaware on line 4. Hey, Robin.
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick.
You sound like you're out working. Is that true?
No, I'm in here just watching On Point on YouTube.
Okay.
Y'all are talking about so much, but this last one regarding what Tom was saying about the undocumented people, you can't pick them up or help them. What is it going to take for Florida? I mean,
I asked people.
It's just sad. I mean, with all the hurricanes and
I don't get it.
Down there, what's it going to take to destroy Florida?
I don't get it.
Oh, I don't get it. I remember when I was working with FEMA, and I went to Destin, Florida, when they had the tornado. Mexico Beach was like ground zero. I picked up a rider, might have been last year, and we was just happened to be talking about Florida, and I was talking about Mexico Beach. He said, they still working to rebuild Mexico Beach. Because when I went to go look at it, me and some other inspectors, I mean, I cried because just to see what it looked like, to see a slab with just 2 chairs, no house around it.
Wow.
See a house in a tree. You know,
Literally in a tree?
Yes. When I came back, I said, God, I'm just so thankful, you know, what I have, because to see that up in person, you know, you see it on TV, it's different. But when you ask me, when I saw the house in the tree, that did it for me. But yeah,
Wow.
they still rebuilding Mexico Beach.
I often ask the people that I know who live in Florida, why are you still there? And sometimes they simply don't know. I think sometimes they think that they're going to outlast this guy, but they're passing laws that are not for the benefit of a lot of people, you know, living down there. And you know, I've got some people that are pretty smart down there. But then I people that are moving to Florida and Texas, I ask them why.
I don't get it.
Like they don't understand, or it's not going to affect them. Okay.
You know, what is it going to take? I mean, I don't get it. But anyhow, how are y'all doing this morning?
We're doing good. We're in the middle of a great harvest meeting. We changed our format, and last night the executive pastors and the music ministers and the creative fine arts people were here for some classes in our quarterly meeting. They're coming back this morning so we can wrap up that this weekend's festivities and instruction. So it's just
been good.
We're doing some new things. I think they're responding. How was the attitude last night? Was it enthusiastic? Yeah, that's good.
Well, Bishop, like I gave Pastor Nick his props, your Easter Sunday message.
Did it work for you? I'm glad it worked for you.
Your testimony, it brought back memories for me when I used to go out to the club, Northeast here in Wilmington, Ambrose. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yeah.
We used to go from Wednesday to Sunday, me and my girlfriend. And I thought about, that was back, in the early 80s. And I thought about all the money that I spent drinking a cup. You know, I kind of calculated, even smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Over 20 grand.
Yeah, that was all you spent?
Right. Are you sure it was that much?
You sure?
It might have been more.
It was more than that.
Inflation.
Like,
It was more. It was more. It was more than that.
My money back.
It was more than that. And right now dollars, that probably was at least $40,000, maybe $60,000. Yeah. Just wish you had that back, right?
Yes. I said, you know what? I'm gonna work to get that back. I'm gonna work and try to get that back. But I just wanted to call in. Oh, I don't know if you heard about the shooting. Y'all was talking about so much this morning, the guns and everything, the governor. But there was a shooting at Christiana Mall last Thursday.
When? It was last Saturday.
Last Saturday. Yeah, Saturday before Easter. Yeah. And
what happened?
I picked up a rider. We was talking about it. She said, well, my friend was there. You know, I always talk to my riders, because that's how I learn, find out information. She said her friend was there when it happened. What happened, 3 guys came in, and they jumped this guy. So I don't know if it was some beef earlier, but he pulled out a gun and shot him.
Got them all?
I think, yes, the 3 people got shot.
Well, one person was shot accidentally, so I don't know how many. They're still going through all the facts of the case.
This is not supposed to be normal to us. This is not supposed to be casual news to us. It's almost becoming casual.
Yeah, it was. When I say the Christiana Mall was lit up by cops' lights, yeah, they had that, was it AK rifle, whatever? Yeah, but it was, people was running. One woman was pregnant. One woman lost her child. He almost got trampled on. It was a mess. And I usually go to the mall, either pick up or drop off. I'm so glad I stopped early that day.
This is not supposed to be normal for us. I have an acquaintance, older gentleman who was in the life, and 2 young guys tried to rob him not long ago, and they pulled their weapons out and give us your money, take us to your house. He dropped them both right there in the street and sat down and waited for the police to come.
It happened in Philly. A 70-year-old man was going to get something from the store 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
These 2 kids tried to rob him. He pulled his gun out and shot him. I mean, whatever happened. First off, I mean,
Pastor Nick, I know you lost for words. I ain't
whatever
sure.
happened
I don't know what's going on.
First, doing it is wrong, number 1.
Right.
But number 2, whatever happened to respecting, these kids don't respect their adults at all.
They see older people as vulnerable. But all of us ain't defenseless.
Right.
All of us ain't defenseless. You know, you about to catch a bad break, son.
Right.
You sure you want to do this?
But a lot of them feel like they could do that. It was this thing that people were talking about on social media, that if the 25-year-old you got a chance to fight your dad at 25 years old, who would win? Mm-hmm. And all these young guys, I'll knock my dad out, I said, there's one thing y'all forget. These guys, when they were 25 then, they got old strength.
Absolutely.
There's a difference between, resilient and old strength.
And knew how to fight.
Right.
and knew it didn't need to last more than 10 seconds.
Right. I'm like, your dad probably kicked your behind at 25.
They don't know. They don't
know. Well, I have one question I want to ask, and I'm done.
You mean one more? Go ahead.
I ain't asking none of this. Oh, I was talking to Crystal. I was thinking about maybe joining the media department to do something different.
Sure.
She said, "Oh, we got something for you, even with your mind, Robin." So, yes, she did. I said, "That's all right. I'm gonna get you, Crystal."
It's a good department to be a part of. They're really doing some great things.
Do something different. But I've always wanted to ask, regarding like your final wishes. I got everything in order. My will, living will, and everything. Yeah. Is it better to pay ahead for your funeral services, or just wait and let the life insurance that you leave to your kids to do it?
I think it's good to wait.
You think it's good to wait?
Yeah, because you have the insurance there.
What you trying to say, Bishop? I'm not going nowhere no time soon.
No, you're not. But the reality is that's what you put in place for. You make sure the instructions are clear, and the funeral directors funeral. That's so old. Funeral directors. The professionals have a relationship with the insurance company, and there's a mechanism there for them to access the death benefit to take care of the arrangements.
Okay. Now, I've known some people who pay for everything, but I'm like, I'm going to tell you what Tamara said, and then I'm going to hang up. She always say, "Mom, you're not going nowhere until Jesus come back, so you ain't got to worry about it."
Tell Tamara I said hi.
Oh, I will. She's coming to church with me Mother's Day.
She should have been here Easter.
I know.
Girl.
I know. Just keep her in prayer. I'm praying for her and my son.
Yeah.
Just keep her in prayer.
Talk to you now.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267. We've got about 7 minutes. We're going to Scott. Yo, Scott.
Pastor Nick, Bishop Evans, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good. I forgot you guys is on working a bit of overtime. It's Nye's birthday next week, so you know how that is. Y'all married. Man, look, I got to have something nice to take her out somewhere at night.
Yeah.
So.
Not McDonald's now. Not McDonald's.
Right. No.
Okay.
So, Pop Shelton taught me better than that.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, if I can do a little sports talk, of course, with the Sixers in the playoff.
Yeah.
Who do you think pressure's on more? Coach Rivers? We all know, he won in 2008. He still brings that up. Is the pressure on Embiid, or is the pressure on Harden for you guys?
I think Embiid being vocal right now, I think he's having a great season. But I think Rivers, I think he's run out of look at what I did way back then. I think he needs to do something current. Because I don't think he's been nearly as successful, and I don't want to say the game is past him, but I'm not sure that his style is the style that's needed for now. And how long can you say, well, I won a championship, 12 years ago?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, any one of us could have coached that team. You have
right.
He said, all you needed was a ball and a suit, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What have you done for me lately? Yeah.
I just every time I hear he gets a job, I'm like, what's he going to do different?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But then I still got a problem with the fact that Jackson doesn't have a job coaching yet.
Mark Jackson. Yeah.
I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
He built that Golden State team.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Steve Kerr come in and take all the glory.
Well, he's getting all the glory, but the team was built before he got there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And I don't have a thing against Kerr.
Yeah.
I don't have a thing against Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is, what did Jackson do that was so bad versus all these other guys that he's not coaching and hasn't been coaching?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Good question, Preacher.
True.
Good question.
But what I think he needs to do, I think he needs to go coach one of these major colleges.
Yeah,
Because they'll get him paid.
Yep.
And he can work with some young men and get them ready. You know, and he would probably bring a pro-style offense to a college team.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Speaking of basketball,
gentlemen, I appreciate you taking my call. Love you guys.
Sure.
And see you soon, Bishop.
All right, talk to you. What were you gonna say, man?
Speaking of basketball, what's up with this playing thing?
Playing?
We're like, I guess like two bad teams play for the last seed.
What is that?
Like, why are y'all trying to expand everything to make it easy for people to
Advertising dollars.
And it's true. It's true.
Advertising
the more
dollars.
games, the more
Advertising
money you get.
dollars. Money in the seats. Advertising dollars. They ain't got nothing to do with participation trophies. We're not doing it.
You win in the regular season or you don't. If you don't get in from that,
it's revenue.
Like, it's true. The more games, the better.
So we're gonna get more money out of losing teams.
Yeah. Because people are gonna watch them.
And they're gonna go
I heard
see
those
them.
games were good too.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna play for real. Because they got a chance.
They got a chance to get in.
Of course, they're not gonna beat the other teams, but you know.
No. Because that's how I think the Lakers got in last time. I think they got in this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just.
And they really shouldn't be there if you look at the records. No.
Like,
Okay.
y'all making it so easy on these guys.
They pros, man. But there's a lot of money being made, Pastor.
Yeah, that's true. I ain't mad about that.
A lot of money being made, Doc. And that revenue is a wonderful thing.
I know.
You know? We are coming up on the end of the program. We're so glad everybody called us today. As usual, tomorrow we're starting our series on the Holy Ghost. I'm just so excited.
Good.
So excited. Wind and fire. Oh, that's right, Crystal. Wind and fire. That is the first message under the title for the new Holy Ghost series is Momentum. And I'll explain all that as we go in the weeks. But we're starting on the Holy Ghost. We've got some things happening we want you to be a part of. We got our virtual service tomorrow at 8 a.m., our live service tomorrow at 11 a.m. You want to be here. Now, if you missed our Easter celebration, you need to go online on any platform, watch it from beginning to end. You will absolutely be blessed. I'm still getting comments about it, Pastor Nick, about just the whole feel of the service, the move of the Spirit, all of that. I thought our music ministries and our creative finance ministries were just outstanding. I thought that the team did a wonderful job as far as graphics and setting the stage for this thing. I think it was just amazing, man. It was good to see the move of God. It was good to see the place. You know, we were up in the balcony, of course, like we've been saying, and I like the fact that we've been progressive in this move towards where we are right now. We haven't been in a hurry. There was some criticism from some people, some folk from the outside. You know, they're in trouble, they don't have nobody. We've been controlling the crowd since September because our number one concern is the safety of the people that are coming to church. And it's working out, and we're doing some things. So we want you to, join us on our podcast platforms, DGEMS and On Point. I want you to join us on all our other platforms, David G. Evans 1, BBC of NJ. Look forward to interacting with you in prayer. What you got?
One thing. If you're interested in receiving updates about the ministry, events, etc., text BBC News to 28950.
BBC News
to 28950.
95 or 8?
28950.
28950. Okay.
28950.
Okay.
We're not going to be texting you all the time, but it's like we have events coming up.
Right.
You'll be a part of our in the crowd, but also if you want to receive some devotionals, like some quotes from the sermon and some other stuff, some prayers during the course of the week, text BBC Elevate.
Okay.
BBC Elevate. Try and keep it consistent.
Yeah.
BBC Elevate to 28950.
Okay.
BBC Elevate.
Okay.
We'll run out to do our QR codes and stuff tomorrow at church.
Yeah.
To receive that information.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So get ready for tomorrow. We'd love to see you. We would love praying with you and agreeing with you in prayer. So you want to send your prayer request to social@gotobethany.com. That's social@gotobethany.com. We look forward to not only agreeing with you, but seeing and hearing the measurable manifestation of the answer to prayer in your life. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David Evans. I want you to remember faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we will see you next time on Point.